English is so easy, but I just don't know it. I just don't know it. Good morning. How you doing, bud?
Good morning, Stephen. Doing well, man. Ready to do
Good.
this recap.
Yeah, let's do a little weekly recap. So what happened this last week?
All right. So the market rallied pretty well most of the week, and I mean some sectors are starting to struggle as they report earnings. So what's coming up next week? Really, that's what I really want to touch base on. There are a lot of earnings. This is the busiest week, especially for the big caps that move the stock market. Really, the major indices as far as Google and Apple and a lot of these high flyer big names. Going back to what we touched base on about diversification, it's not good to have that much of an index just pushed by two or three companies, basically.
So if those two or three companies go down, this whole thing could go way down.
Yeah. So all it takes, Facebook actually reports next week as well. With Facebook, I think it's 18% of the S&P 500 between four companies.
Wow.
So if they don't have optimistic outlooks, because earnings aren't expected to be too good anyways for the first quarter, but the second quarter should be worse given that we've been quarantining for all of March and all of April. Looking at what the market's done since the March lows a month ago, almost to the day really, was March 23rd, so right at the day almost. We're up about 20% since then. And with all these earnings coming up in the next week, with all these large companies, I expect more than likely the market will start to retrace. And where I expect the selling to accelerate will be right around the 27.25 mark, if that's broken, which happens to coincide pretty closely with the previous two lows from Tuesday and from about a week and a half ago. Then we're probably looking to see lows and give back quite a bit of the gains pretty quickly at that point from this 20% rally or so.
You're saying if it dips below 27.25, you think everyone's up for a little rude awakening? It's going to go lower than the previous lows, or what do you think?
We could start heading in that direction. We'll see if the lows end up getting revisited or broken. I think if we get near that level, they will end up breaking. It's just it's not often that you have lows like this that were panic driven and very quickly recovered, tested and that they hold, because there aren't a lot of buyers at that level. It only hit that level for a moment and only traded below 2,300 for a day. So if we get near 2,300, it's more likely that a lot of people say I'm out, because it's just a psychological thing. Everyone thinks that's it. The lows are going to get tested, even though the lows are almost 110 points lower than that. It's just likely to have accelerated selling as it gets closer. So right now we're far away though. 2,800. It's quite a bit of a ways out. But with Google and Apple and all these large caps reporting, if a lot of them don't give good guidance, we could quickly be near that level again.
All right, Danny. So we got Facebook, Google, Apple, and Amazon reporting this week. Which ones do you think are going to be looking the best out of this week coming out, and which ones do you think are going to be looking the worst?
Amazon's the one that worries me the most. People are very optimistic because of the quarantine effect and everybody hoarding supplies, that Amazon's going to do very well. It's trading at the most expensive level, within 2 or 3% of the highest prices ever. And when expectations are that high, it's very easy to miss and shock to the downside. So I wouldn't want to own Amazon, not at $2,400. That's the most likely one to disappoint investors, I think, this week. On the upside, I think Google of the bunch will do very well. Everyone's stuck at home Googling anyways, and the share price hasn't had the kind of crazy run that Amazon has. So if there's anyone that's going to benefit, it's everyone being at home and on the internet, it's going to be Google and Facebook to an extent as well. So this here is a quick preview of the big companies that are reporting this week by the day, and then split before the open and then after the close. You'll see Google, which is called Alphabet. I don't know why they bothered with that name change. Honestly, everyone hates it. But Google reports Tuesday after the close. And then the following day, you'll see Tesla after the close, as well as Facebook and eBay. And then Thursday's a big day. This is the largest day as far as the big caps with the two biggest companies out there right now. Well, Microsoft's bigger, but very, very close. These two report Thursday after the close.
So a lot of doom and gloom from Danny Gonzalez coming up this upcoming week. Let's see what happens, man, and hopefully you're right, because I think a lot of people probably want to buy on a decent dip.
You don't want to be chasing stocks higher when they've gone up 20% in literally 4 weeks. So yeah. It's not so much doom and gloom as far as just being cautiously optimistic and risk reward. Really, I wouldn't want to buy Amazon at 2,400 when it was at 1,600 a month ago. That's crazy.
Right.
So
that's
a lot.
Okay. All right, Danny. We'll see what happens.